So remember how a couple days ago we did that first pick Darion video because Vagabonds are most likely going to be some of the next two-way units? Well, basically the same thing, but with Jubelle this time, same runes. I gotta say, this was actually more fun than Darion, mostly because a lot of people have no idea what Jubelle does. Imagine if your opponent was trying to stack a ton of debuffs on your Juno, or stun your Fire Monkey with multi-hitter units. That's the same kind of situation you experience with Jubelle because many people just forgot what he does. So there were a handful of instances where opponents were trying to attack him with Diana and Oracle's skill 1, both units that cycle turns when they crit, and of course, with Jubelle's passive, they just weren't critting or cycling turns, and in Diana's situation, that leaves her extremely vulnerable. As I mentioned Jubelle's passive, a lot of you might need a refresher since people don't talk about him much. His passive has two parts. With one part, he decreases his cooldown of skill 2 every time he's attacked, which is not really that exciting since it's just a single target provoke, but he has it available pretty much almost always. The second part, the more exciting one, is his decreased chances of receiving a critical hit by 50%, which is kind of like an RNG-based version of Kinky the Light Onimusha. So basically, on Triple Revenge, he is a budget version of Kinky, but with a provoke. Now, of course, as with Darion, first picking Jubelle is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea, and I just did it for the gimmick, since he locks you into playing a turn 2 bruiser, and he's not very flexible in the draft. He's a decent last pick if you're going up against things, again, that rely on crit, like Diana, Oracles, and also Vertiheal. If you manage to provoke Vertiheal and RNG is on your side, Vertiheal can just potentially not crit at all and provide no benefit to his team. So ultimately, he's a niche last pick unit like Darion. There is absolutely no reason to first pick him in the draft whatsoever, but can actually be effective against certain comps, and on Triple Revenge, he's not really a unit that requires you to sacrifice runes from your best units to make it work. If your opponent is picking things that require crits to be effective, you can pick him in a similar spot to Kinky, but with Jubelle, you can force crit units to focus him with the provoke, nerfing some of their effectiveness in the process. So it's likely he becomes one of the next 2A units, and we will ultimately see how strong he gets with that. He needs more base HP, which he will get, but after using him more, I can definitely see, with a relevant buff to his passive, him becoming a unit that is actually meta against aggressive turn 1 comps. That's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you as always in the next one.